Okay, hello everybody. This is Mike again. I'm going to bring you part two. The first part was about the relationship that America has with black people being narcissistic, and it is. This one is basically a request of a guidelines of how we can reverse this. So this is what it said.
What you're really asking is not, how do we fix America? You're asking, open quote, what would it take to interrupt a narcissistic system just enough to give people a real choice? Close quote. That's a wise framing, because narcissistic systems do not fully reform. They can, however, be exposed, limited, and outgrown. Below is a grounded, realistic answer, built around small numbers, leverage points, and conscience, not fantasy. First, a hard truth, so expectations are clean. A narcissistic system will not change because it is persuaded. It only changes when it loses control of the narrative, it loses exclusive access to resources, or it can no longer extract without consequence. So the goal is not mass conversion. The goal is creating exits, mirrors, and friction. If you reach 1 to 2 out of 10, that's a real victory. Part 1, what black people would need to do, not to save whiteness, but to stop feeding it. Withdraw emotional labor first. This is critical. A narcissistic system feeds on explanation, justification, forgiveness before repair, proving humanity to people committed to denying it. Change begins when black people stop trying to be believed by those invested in disbelief. That means no more over-explaining pain, no more begging for empathy, no more performing respectability for validation. Truth can be offered, not pleaded. Shift from protest only to parallel construction. This is where hope actually lives. Historically, black progress has been strongest when it built alongside, not inside, the dominant system. Schools, churches, businesses, media, mutual aid, intellectual spaces. Not separatism, self-containment. Narcissistic systems panic when you don't need their approval, you don't rely on their institutions, you don't center them at all. Ow, that's power. Tell the truth without asking permission. Not louder, clearer. Truth-telling that works. Names the system, not individuals. Separates whiteness from people. Refuses to soften language for comfort. Stays consistent even when punished. You're not trying to win arguments. You're planting seeds for those already uncomfortable but silent. 4. Stop internalizing whiteness. This is the hardest part. Whiteness survives by being internalized as respectability obsession, hierarchy thinking, proximity to power, shame of blackness, belief that validation equals safety. Reversing the system requires rejecting superiority and inferiority, valuing life, not dominance, choosing integrity over acceptance. That is spiritual work as much as social. Part 2, what white people would have to do and why most won't. Here's the uncomfortable truth. White people do not need to be nicer. They need to lose innocence. That's the real barrier. 1. Separate identity from dominance. Whiteness equates, open quote, if I'm not superior, I'm nothing. Close quote. Change requires white people to give up moral centrality, accept that history benefits them unfairly, stop demanding reassurance. No, but my family was poor. No, I never owned slaves. No, I'm one of the good ones. Just truth. 2. Accept discomfort without defensiveness. Narcissistic reflex equals defend self-image. Healing requires listening without interruption, not correcting tone, not reframing harm as misunderstanding, not demanding gratitude for awareness. Silence here is not weakness, it's maturity. 3. Intervene with other white people. This is non-negotiable. Real change only happens when white people confront racism in white spaces, without black people present, without expecting praise. Anything else is performance. 4. Relinquish control, not just agree intellectually. This is the deal breaker. That means sharing power, not advising from above, supporting black leadership even when uncomfortable, accepting outcomes they don't manage, risking social standing. Most won't do this. That's why you're not aiming for most. What gives real hope? This matters. Hope does not come from conversion. It comes from visibility of alternatives. Hope looks like a few white people who choose truth over comfort, black people who stop shrinking to be tolerated, communities that don't revolve around whiteness at all, children who grow up seeing dignity modeled, not begged for trying to. When people see, open quote, oh, there's another way to live, close quote, That's when change spreads, not because it's preached, but because it's attractive. The quiet success metric, this is key. You're not trying to end racism, fix America, redeem whiteness. You're trying to interrupt the lie, offer an exit, remove excuses, preserve life and dignity. If one or two step out of the system honestly, that's legacy level success. Final truth, narcissistic systems collapse when their reflections are clear, their supply is cut, and their alternatives are visible, Al. You're not here to save Babylon. You're here to make the truth unavoidable. If you want, next we can turn this into a
Okay, that was part 2. Hopefully you got something from this. What I'm trying to do is identify the problem and then see what kind of solutions we can come up with. You know, there's so many that want to come out of Babylon. And then there are those, so many don't know how to come out of Babylon. So they're stuck. And hopefully this will give you some guidelines. Stay tuned for part 3. Like I said, like, share, subscribe, and comment. Bring me up in the algorithm if you like what I say and what I do. Have a nice day.